Ladies and gentlemen, people of all professing beliefs, regardless of what you believe in, I want to propose something for all of you to consider. Challenge your beliefs. Whatever worldview is the absolute truth will make sense of reality as we know it, and completely expose the subjective feelings of those who believe in false beliefs. And whatever is absolutely true has to be objectively true. Objective meaning matter of fact. Subjective feelings are not going to change objective reality, my friends. You can completely deny events like the Holocaust, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Yet here we are in a generation where we have groups of people called Holocaust deniers. Who are you going to trust in this age where people can be so easily persuaded to deception? Research the facts and see if they match all reality. And keep in mind, whatever is absolutely true not only has to work logically, it also has to be persistent with morality, with philosophy, with history, as well as how we, as a human species, can live a fulfilling life. Discovering objective truth is not something you can just toss aside like a forgotten shopping list. This is a matter of life and death. What is life ultimately about? What is our purpose? Why are we here? Why are we conscious? Which worldview has been the most persistent and the most timeless, despite the ongoing ages? Go study philosophy. And hold up! Don't just blindly believe slogans that you'll see on stuff like Facebook and Twitter. No, read books. Investigate the academia. Try to take a look at other worldviews other than your own, so that you're not closed-minded. Investigate, consider, ponder. Think of the big questions. Like, where do we get concepts of good and evil in the first place? And be courageous. You might feel a bit intimidated, but trust me, the big questions need answer in order to make sense of life. What happens after you die? Because if everyone has the exact same fate after we die, then what's the point in being good or evil at all? Also, don't just blindly believe what many scientists will tell you, because a lot of people nowadays are confusing science with philosophy. They are not one and the same, they are separate. For example, one scientist may say science will solve everything. Well, guess what? Can science solve that? Can science solve that question? Can you go to a lab and scientifically analyze the question, science will solve everything? Can you scientifically analyze that statement? No! Why? Because that's not a scientific statement, that's a philosophical statement. And because it's a philosophical statement that cannot be scientifically tested by laboratory methods, that immediately means that science cannot solve everything. In a previous video, I've also shared various immaterial things that a lot of people take for granted, yet we claim as just as real as everything we see around us. Unseen realities like logic, morality, metaphysical truths like there are other minds other than my own, and oddly enough, thoughts and science itself cannot be measured by the scientific method. Can you physically measure the beliefs? Can you measure the weight of a soul or consciousness in a lab? I don't think so. Not to mention, studies of consciousness and NDEs have thoroughly debunked naturalism. So there's a start. Whatever is true, science cannot solve every single problem. Now you better beware. There are loads of people who will try very, very hard to hide the truth, simply because they don't want something to be true. It's largely out of pride, so I'm begging you, please, be sincere in your pursuit of truth, because the sad news nowadays is that a lot of people are not on a truth quest. They're on a happiness quest. They'll just believe anything they want, as long as it makes them comfortable. Well, guess what? I'm not most people. When it comes to philosophy, I believe Charles Spurgeon said this first. The question should not be, is it comfortable? The question should be, is it true? Now, I know the way you skeptics think. Chances are, if you're going to respond back, we're not going to have an intelligent conversation on comparing worldviews. You're just gonna name call me. And call me intolerant. Call me arrogant. Call me unscientific or whatnot. Okay, sorry to hurt your feelings, but that doesn't answer my response. Do you or do you not have a more logical explanation of the facts? Or are you just going to continue name-calling me as if I were some kind of bully, which is not what I intend to be, by the way. Although, admittedly, when push comes to shove, mockery can be a good tactic. Ask yourselves this. Why is it that most of you skeptics are more than willing to challenge my beliefs, yet you're not willing to challenge your own? One of the most obvious signs of a false worldview is their refusal to answer challenging questions. Dare I say, that is the sign of a cult. Now, some of you might say, well, I don't have beliefs. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You believe that you don't have beliefs. That contradicts itself.
You're being intolerant!
You're gonna revert to name-calling instead of actually challenging my intellect?
You're hurting my feelings!
Listen, buddy, I hate to break it to you, but for the most part, objective truth doesn't care about subjective feelings. It cares about the facts. Come on, give me facts, please. Oh, what's that? You don't have many strong facts to support your worldview? You can't defend your position like I can with my Christian faith. You can't necessarily reason it at times. You have to believe it blindly. You have to use dirty word. Faith. Ooh, naughty word, Callum. Naughty. In case you didn't realize, searching for objective truth means stepping outside your comfort zone. I don't want to be boastful, okay? I am on a sincere quest for truth. Feel free to tag along with me. Oh yes, there's one last thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention earlier. And this challenge, in particular, was brought up to me by the genius Frank Turek. If any of you are still hesitant about what I believe in, if you still insist that your position is true, then allow this following question to really diagnose just how intellectually honest you really are with yourself. If you respond to this question in the affirmative, it means you are open-minded, you are sincere, and you will continue on the path towards truth, and if necessary, you'll have to change your ways. If you respond to this question in the negative, however, it means you are close-minded, full of pride, and are likely too afraid and stubborn to confront the truth itself. And responding in the negative, whilst claiming to be authoritative, will be the most ironic thing ever. What is the question? It goes as follows. Are you ready? Because this question can really diagnose people. Okay, here we go. If a worldview other than the one you profess to believe in was true, would you change your mind? If another religion, which was not the one you believed in, was true, would you convert to that true religion? Now, big challenging version of this question. If Christianity were indeed 100% true, would you convert to Christianity? You'd be shocked and surprised to hear that the vast majority of people who are asked this question respond, no! Hang on, wait a minute. Time out. Let's think this through. You would say no to Christianity even if it was true. Even if Jesus Christ really is who he claimed to be, even if you have to get down on your knees and be humble, even if Christianity were true right under your nose, you would still deny it? How does that logically follow? It doesn't. Why? Because beliefs is not just an intellectual issue. It's also an issue of the will. Most people don't want Christianity to be true, so they'll just believe whatever it is they want. People will claim not to believe in Jesus, yet when presented with this question, they say, we would say no to Christianity even if it was true, and they would rather listen to subjective feelings rather than objective fact. How ironic is that? Now, some of you skeptics are probably going to challenge me. Callum, Mr. High and Mighty Sure. Callum, if any other religion other than your own was the truth, would you accept it? I must admit, if any other belief system other than my own turned out to be the truth, sure, I'd convert to it. The Apostle Paul said it himself. If Christ has not been risen, then we of all people are to be pitied. You know what's funny? The Bible actually affirms this dilemma, because the Bible is confident in objective truth. The Bible writers are brave enough to admit the implications of Christianity not being true. Yet I have confidence that Christianity is true because there's evidence for it. And it has transformed my life for the better. In my current state, I would believe in any other belief system if it were true. It just so happens that Christianity has the most compelling evidence. So nice try, skeptics. But a good question. I ask you once again, are you willing to challenge your own beliefs?